It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Monday's Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast. On this, the 5th day of August, 2023. Got a really busy show for you this morning, folks, and it's brought to you by MSC Cruises and Will US, owner of Scoot Around. All right, the headlines today, the main and lead story, of course, is landfall and today's weather. We'll also talk about changes due to the storm, MSC Emission Reduction for 2026. Also today, Disney Treasure floated out, 5 new ships for Carnival, and guests injured by lightning, and lots more here at 11 o'clock this morning. Today, folks, is National Oyster Day. I know Emily will be choking on her tea, but I love oysters. I like oysters anyway. I can take them on the half shell. I can take them steamed. I can take them fried. Doesn't make oyster stew. I don't care. I just like oysters. So some of my favorite places to eat oysters, man, are to have some problems here from the Debby, which we'll talk about in a little bit. If you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. All the big guys: TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, Pandora, Stitcher, Amazon Music. Who did I miss? Apple Podcasts. All you have to do is search for travel and cruise industry news, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. We do this Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock, most every day, and then if we need to, on the weekends. So, all right. Got a couple of things to go over before we get to the news. This was from Nate up in Alaska. This was night before last in Juneau. Little northern lights there. This was out of Sitka. And this was off of the Royal Princess. And that was the Royal Princess as well. So we're getting some northern lights up there, which is nice for those of us that are going up there here in 10 days' time now. Maybe we'll get a chance to see them this year. The other thing we got from Elizabeth on location, this is Ibiza, Spain. She was in port there. She likes this a lot because she gets to go ashore every time they land. And then I started to do a thing, whether you liked or disliked half-naked pictures, but I thought, no, I better not, because that might offend some people. So I'll just show you a couple folks off I won't say where those pictures came from, but they're all from the Scarlet Lady. What can I say? All right, so might as well get down to business here. Of course, we had landfall this morning from Debby. Debby is just inland in the Big Bend region, expected to bring major flooding over the southeastern United States during the next few days. Landfall was at 7 o'clock this morning. Currently, it's located about 60 miles north-northwest of Cedar Key, Florida. Maximum sustained winds are 75 miles an hour. Present movement is north-northeast at 10. Central pressure is 979 and steady. A gradual decrease in forward speed with a turn toward the northeast and east is expected later today and Tuesday. On the forecast track, the center will slowly move across northern Florida and southern Georgia today and Tuesday, be near the Georgia coast by Tuesday night. Now, here's the problem with this, folks. It's going to be crawling at like 3 to 4 miles an hour. Well, because the system is moving slowly, it's still dumping tons of rain. So especially in the lowlands of Georgia and South Carolina, and you could get as much as 30 inches of rain. And of course, the associated flooding. Potentially historic heavy rainfall across southeast Georgia and the coastal plain of South Carolina through Saturday. You could be dealing with this and likely result in the areas of catastrophic flooding. Heavy rainfall will likely result in considerable flooding impacts from portions of central and northern Florida across portions of central and northeast North Carolina, all the way through Saturday. That's hard to believe, folks. It's everybody says, oh, it's just a category 1. Yeah, it's a category 1 my foot. It's going to still wreak havoc. All right, the other system in the Atlantic, the yellow X down there, is east of the Windward Islands. Shower and thunderstorms associated with a tropical wave located near the Windward Islands have decreased and become less organized than it was. So any development of the system will be slow to occur during the next couple of days while the system moves westward over the Eastern Caribbean. Environmental conditions are expected to become more conducive for development later this week as the system moves across the Western Caribbean or the southern Gulf of Mexico. Talking about chance of further formation over 48 hours is low at 10%, but jumps up to 30% over 7 days. Now that moves us to the Pacific. Now, folks, the map looks horrible. I can only tell you it's not near as bad as it looks. Carlotta continues to weaken, could become a post-tropical cyclone later today and just poof, go away. Poorly defined Daniel expected to weaken soon and do the same thing. Tropical storm Emilia is moving slowly south-southwestward and not going to affect anything. Now, the red X closest to land, which is nothing yet, is where we might have some problems. Shower and thunderstorms associated with an area of low pressure located a few hundred miles south-southwestern Mexico continue to show signs of organization. Overnight, satellite-derived wind data indicated that the system did not yet have a well-defined circulation. However, satellite imagery since that time suggests that the system may have become better organized since then. A tropical depression is likely to form today or tonight, while the system moves generally west-northwestward at 10 to 15 miles an hour, remaining well offshore the coast of Mexico. Chance of formation in the next 48 hours, 90%. Chance of formation in the next 7 days, 90%. We got to watch this one, folks. I mean, right now it's going to be a storm to nowhere, but we got to watch it because things can change and this could get reversed right back to us. So that's the latest from the National Hurricane Center in both the Atlantic and the Pacific. All right, I'll be back with a little bit of news after a quick break from one of our network sponsors. All right, our first news story today, of course, relates to Debby. As Tropical Storm Debby moves northward west of the Florida Peninsula, Carnival Cruise Line's Carnival Paradise will not be able to return to Port Tampa Bay as scheduled early today. The port is currently in condition Zulu and closed to all traffic. At the moment, Carnival Paradise is well away from the storm on her current itinerary, enjoying a day at sea following her visit to Cozumel, just as planned on her 4-night itinerary. However, the ship cannot proceed back to the home port until the storm has passed and the port reopened. Margaritaville at Sea Islander finds herself in the same position and will be unable to conclude her current sailing on Sunday as originally scheduled, and instead will remain at sea until the storm passes. Meanwhile, Carnival Cruise Line has notified guests booked aboard the Monday, August 5th departure of Carnival Elation out of Jacksonville that their embarkation and departure will take place on yesterday. The current voyage, which departed the home port on August 1st, will now end a day early. The decision has been made to permit plenty of time for the ships to be away from the port as Tropical Storm Debby approaches on Monday. MSC Cruises is set to reduce fleet-wide emissions by up to 15% in 2026 by implementing a new itinerary planning optimization tool called OptiCruise. Developed in collaboration with Optimizi, the new mathematical model reportedly analyzes various factors influences the planning of MSC Cruises itineraries. The goal is to achieve maximum efficiency while maintaining or enhancing guest satisfaction. The MSC Bellissima was selected to test the prototype technology over a 12-month period while sailing between 17 ports in the Med. Michelle Franchione, Chief Energy Transition Officer at MSC Cruises, said, "We have developed and identified this new technology to optimize the decision-making process of itinerary planning with the aim to further reduce emissions across our fleet from 2026. The Optimizi team calculates that the average fuel savings made and emissions reduced by using OptiCruise are in the range of 10 to 15%, with a significant step forward in our ambition to achieve our net zero greenhouse gas emissions target by 2050 for our marine operations." Disney Treasure has left the building hall at Meyer Werft in Papenburg, Germany. Disney Cruise Line's latest ship was floated out on Saturday at the shipyard and will now move to an outfitting dock for the final touches ahead of her delivery later this year. Over the past 6 months, Carnival has placed orders for 5 more new cruise ships that will all be in service by 2033. In 2027, the 4th XL class ship will be floated. 28, the 5th XL class ship. 2029, the first 230,000 ton ship will be out. 2031, the second 230,000 gross ton ship. And in 2033, the third 230,000 gross ton ship will be delivered. Several cruise guests were reportedly injured from a lightning strike during severe weather in Phillipsburg, St. Martin last week. A total of 5 individuals sustained injuries, though it's unclear if all 5 were cruise passengers. 3 of the injured individuals had been in the water when lightning struck, while the remaining 2 were on Great Bay Beach, the beach adjacent to the boardwalk, holding an umbrella.
We have the equipment you need to stay mobile. Whether you need a wheelchair, scooter, power chair, rollator, oxygen, or other pieces of mobility equipment, Scootaround, powered by Will, can help. Once you've booked your rental, we can deliver it to wherever you need. For your mobility needs, contact me or call Scootaround at 888-441-7575. Use SRN 11137 for the best rates.
Hi, and that's Scootaround and my friends at Will. Of course, they own Scootaround. All right, that's going to end the news portion of today's show. Let's see who's over in the chat room fussing at me today. All right, Kenneth's with us up in Pennsylvania. Hey, Kenneth, there's Joanne. Morning, Joanne. Hi there, Tom's with us. Says good morning to everybody. Late passes, please. Nah. Mike's with us. Good morning, Mike. Steve's with us out in Kentucky. Hey, Steve. Gretchen's with us in Ohio. Gary Older and Dirt down in Florida. There's Tinkerbell. Hey, Tinkerbell. Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's safe from Debbie. Yeah, me too. And Bob's with us this morning. That's kind of, it seems like my chat room shut off. That's most disconcerting. Huh. Because I'm certainly showing that I'm on the air. But the chat, right after Bob, the chat room just stopped. I don't know. All right, so according to that, that's going to wrap up the show for today. As always, please smash that thumbs up button. That helps the channel out a lot. Take this as my invitation to subscribe. It does not cost anything, and that really helps us out. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when I go live or when a new video is up. And Hot Air Tom says, testing. Yep, still working. Okay, I see that now. So we're up to like 93 people in the house, which is not a bad crowd for a Monday morning. 81 people from X alone. Gretchen says, started packing for Alaska. Wow, I haven't even thought about that. My suitcase is right here. That's where it stays. I I might pack the night before. So don't forget, Wednesday, there will be no show. Maybe. There will be no show regular schedule time. In all probability, I'll do a show later than normal. I'm just not 100% sure. I got to see how I feel coming out of this mess with the cardiologist. And assuming I feel okay by the time I get home, I'll crank up a show, probably early afternoon. So we won't miss a day. I'd hate to do that on a special month anyway. Hope you enjoyed like the Davina tape. I know that was a little longer than I'd give a commercial, but I thought it was interesting. So hopefully some of you folks will learn more about MSC and want to give them a try. So I hope to do more of that during the month as well, plus bring you some specials. The crawl down here, bookayt.net/MSC. That's got this week's specials on it. Nate is going to monitor that and change it out. We still have some things with the website that aren't working the way we want them to work, but we're getting there. So, but anyway, it does show you this week's special cruises. In the meantime, if you're interested at all in any MSC, just call me or text me or email me, and we'll find you something to do, and probably at a bargain price. So I know Gary and I and Cindy, all the three of us, thoroughly enjoy MSC. So I hope each and every one of you guys will try it and enjoy it as well. All right, that's going to wrap me up for today. When do you fly out? When do I fly out? I fly out on the 13th, I think. I don't know. It's, next week sometime. I think we sail on the 14th. Am I right on that? So, yeah. And I'm flying out of Richmond hot air. So, Gretchen says Wednesday at 7. I don't fly out till late in the afternoon, so I'll probably do a show that day. I'll announce that as we get closer to it. No stubbing your big toe on this crew. Hell, I hope not. I only got one left. The other one's still isn't back to normal. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. As always, thanks for being here. And as always, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a phenomenal day, everybody. See you tomorrow.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chilliescruises.